Why do world wars happen? Part 4. The main reason for the outbreak of world wars is the lust for power. However, lust for power is driven by certain impulses, some of which we've already mentioned, and is also connected to a range of psychological desires, such as greed, violence, and egocentrism, to name a few. Although economic factors are considered significant causes of wars, including world wars, they are never the primary cause. Genghis Khan's wars were for his own assertion of power. He waged bloody wars to unite tribes and clans. Alexander the Great, despite lacking nothing economically, why did his wars never end? In reality, Alexander was intoxicated by the expansion of his realm of power and his victories. Alexander candidly told the philosopher Diogenes, "I want to conquer the world and then rest." Jalal al-Din Wasram Shah valued power and bloodshed more than economic matters. Did Tamerlane shed all that blood across the world for wealth and property, or for power, greatness, and self-display? Examples in these regards are so numerous that they numbered not in the hundreds, but in the thousands. Humans always follow their psychological desires. Power is the most important tool for achieving these psychological desires. If wealth plays a very social role in marriage, then the value of that wealth is embodied in the force of labor within it. That is, the value of wealth is the used force, where sovereignty is accumulated and embodied as a result of that force and usage, meaning sovereignty within the process of force and usage is always connected, gathered, and embodied. When a worker uses their force in labor, they produce sovereignty proportionate to that use of force. But the employer, in surplus value, completely steals the surplus sovereignty, and the remaining amount of sovereignty for the worker is embodied in their livelihood. The worker's labor force and sovereignty that the employer steals then becomes power, and that power is embedded in every amount of money, according to its quantity. Sovereignty is not just enjoyment, dignity, happiness, self-display, fame, etc., but also fear, destruction, striking, killing, annihilation, and much more. Even now, volcanoes, floods, storms, landslides, earthquakes, fires, etc., are sovereign over humans. Large fish are sovereign over small fish. Predators are sovereign over herbivores and weaker animals. Insects are sovereign over each other according to their strength. We humans have weak understandings in many areas. How the sovereignties are connected to the forces of inanimate matter and their uses is organized, systematized, and provided under the divine will. Inanimate matter has no perception of any kind of positive or negative, visible or invisible power. Storms have no understanding of their own forces, their actions, and their sovereignty over humans. This force, action, and assertion of sovereignty over humans, animals, and plants are naturally part of their existence. Humans are not sovereign over their body cells. Cells are sovereign over humans. Cells are not sovereign over particles. Particles are sovereign over cells. Protons and neutrons are not sovereign over quarks. Quarks are sovereign over them. According to these natural laws, in society too, individuals must be sovereign over their collectives, not collectives over individuals. If we only tailor sovereignty to the stature of humans, then it is proof of our misunderstanding of the term sovereignty. Sovereignty in an atom is not displayed only in its explosion, but also in its internal organization and unity, its system of movement, its continuity, and its connections. The term sovereignty, to me, is not a single meaning and closed term, but a multi-meaning, open, and evolving term. Written by Jalal Shku.